Hello friends, welcome to my video. I had a lot of different comments and people have asked me to tell more stories about me and my brother back in the 1950s and our explorations in the woods and the things that we did, and that's what this video is about. There was something there, and I will never forget as long as I live. Me and my brother used to talk about it and everything. My brother's 77 years old now, and please pray for my brother. He's been on Oxycontin for years. He's had a lot of back surgeries done. He's a retired United States Army Chief Warrant Officer, but he's hooked on narcotics. And he has been taking Oxycontin so much for years that I quit calling my brother, because when I call him, he falls asleep on the phone, and it's kind of sad. But in 1957, me and my brother, we spent a lot of our time out in the woods. We were poor. We didn't have things. And we had a large dirt road that extended for miles beside our little old homestead we had out in the middle of the country. My dad was renting that place from O.L. Nelms in Dallas, Texas. And we had rented that house from him. O.L. Nelms was a very rich man. He used to have these big old, you know those 18-wheelers, they pull those big old trailers behind them? And he had them all over Texas. And it's painted on the side, and it said, "Thanks for helping O.L. Nelms make another million." He made his money in real estate by renting. But let me tell you, me and my brother went out on that dirt road one morning. The sun was coming up. The dirt road, I don't know if you've ever walked barefooted on a dirt road before, but after a while, man, it gets to burning your feet. Well, like me and my brother, we were on it so much that, man, I'm telling you, the hide on our feet was thick. Didn't bother us at all. But we walked and walked and walked for miles. Went way back, and there's a big area that was just solid woods. And we had walked out in the woods a long way. We sat down to rest for a little bit, and there was a lot of, well, you know, everybody called them shanty towns back in the 1930s, but they were way, way out in rural areas all across the United States during the Dust Bowl and the horrible Great Depression that hit America with a stock market failure in 1929, extended into the 30s. And these old houses were out in the middle of nowhere. There was nobody there. There was trees grown up even through the houses. And the houses were made out of the wood that was there in the woods. They had evidently just cut the trees down and made them shanty houses to live in. And they had covered it with, you know, round logs about that round. And they had made a roof out of it. And then they covered it with thick grasses and thick leaves, and that was their roof. But me and my brother was out there. We were talking. We sat down to take a break for a while, and we kept hearing something. The only way I can describe it, it was like, ooh. And I looked at my brother, and he looked at me, and he said, "Is that an owl?" I don't know. Well, it did it again. And it kept doing it again. Well, me and my brother, we got up, we walked on down, and out in the middle there was like, there was 5 of these shanty houses. They were spread out. But the one in the middle was where this sound was coming from. And we went down there, and my brother signaled to me to go around like that. My brother's always been a soldier. So he went around one way, and I went around the other. Well, we walked around the back, and my brother wasn't anywhere around. You don't think I wasn't scared? People, I was 5 years old. I was out in the middle of the woods, out in the middle of nowhere. And I hollered for my brother. I ran around to the side of the place that he had went, He went one way, I went the other, and I thought he's hiding from me. And I hollered at him and told him, hey, I don't know the way out of here, man. No answer. And then I heard it again, and it literally made the hair stand up on the back of my neck. It was like, well, friend, I'm going to tell you something. There's cold chills going up down my back. And I took off and I hollered at my brother. I said, hey, man, I'm going to start running. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to start running. I don't know where you are, and I'm lost. Well, I took off running. And I ran and I ran and I ran. And listen, I went through ditches out in those woods, and the leaves were almost 4 feet deep. Keep in mind, I'm a little 5-year-old fella. So those leaves were way up here. And I was having to do this to get through them. You didn't think that I didn't think about snakes? Friends, we had rattlesnakes, copperheads. We had scorpions that were almost 2.5 inches long. Big old brown, horrible looking scorpions that would sting the daylights out of you. And here I was running through that. Well, I ran and I ran and I ran. I hollered for my brother and I hollered for him. Well, I finally broke out of the woods and I could see the dirt road, and it must have been a half a mile away. That's how far I was from that dirt road. Well, I kept going. I headed for the dirt road. I finally got the dirt road. I didn't see my brother anywhere. I hollered and hollered and hollered. Well, I started walking home. I'd run for a while, then I'd walk for a while. I'd sit down for a while and rest. Kept looking for my brother to come down that road. He wasn't anywhere. Well, I finally made it out of the woods to the house. And I hollered for him and I went inside. He wasn't anywhere. Well, after a little bit, I heard his voice hollering. Well, I ran outside. And he said, where did you go? And I said, what do you mean, where did I go? Where did you go, man? You left me out in the middle of them woods. He said, you left me. People, we looked at each other and we sat down on the front porch and he looked at me and I looked at him and we compared notes more or less verbally. I told him what happened to me when I ran around the left side. He told me what happened to him when he went around the right side. He said that when he came out in the backyard, I wasn't there. And he ran around my side and I wasn't there, and I said I did the same thing. And he said I was hollering top of my lungs. I said I was too. We looked at each other, and people, I'm going to tell you something. We never went back there again, but I'll never forget it as long as I live. There was something there. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'm Grandpa Hickory. I don't know what it was, people. But something strange, mysterious happened that me and him both have never been able to explain. I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye from Texas.